I'm Dr. Ryan DeBell from The Movement Fix. This is Movement Fix Monday. We're in Marietta
Barbell Gym.
Marietta Barbell Gym. I'm here with Drew Cuffo, who's a 12th quarter, right?
Yeah.
12th quarter Chiro student here, about to graduate. And we're about to get a lifting session on, but we wanted to film a video, and what we're going to talk about is how to use the hip airplane to assess single leg or single hip motor control. A lot of times when I'm teaching someone a single leg deadlift, for example, what they'll end up doing is at the bottom of the single leg deadlift, they get down and then they'll sort of turn out like this. I'm sure you've seen people do that. So they turn out, they open up like this, and they try to gain depth. And so one of the things I've been assessing is somebody's ability to go into a hip hinge like this and then open up all the way, which would be basically external rotation and abduction of the hip, and then controlling the adduction and internal rotation to neutral, and then dropping below that without rotating through the upper back. So you actually find a lot of really interesting things when you do this. So what I would like to do, and I have a dowel here, number one, because I like to hold it. Number two, because we might need it to teach somebody 3 points of contact and how to keep a neutral back. But you're very well trained in that. So let's do this. Stand here, and let's turn to the side face this way. And then go ahead and just go onto your right leg. So we're going to start just standing on that leg and then descend down into like a single leg deadlift, maybe like 10 to 20 degrees. I'll do this at varying angles. And then once we're here, think about rotating from the down leg. One of the issues that happens is when people go into the single leg deadlift and this opens up, so like open that up, people will cue the athlete to drop this hip. But this is what you see, but this isn't why you see it. The real issue is the down leg hip, because you're rotating, all the motion is happening in the right hip. It's not happening in this hip. So the athlete has to understand how to lower from the down hip. So think about it happening here and learn how to descend. So go ahead and rotate back to neutral. There you go. My descend word was incorrect. So descend back to here, and then can you go deeper and then open up? So we're checking at different angles of hip flexion, the ability to control the hip joint. Now go back to parallel to the ground. Now try to adduct where you drop below. Now this is key because you can see here, and go ahead and come back up to less hip flexion. Let's try it here. I want to note, you see most of it's happening through the thoracic spine, and not a lot of it is happening at the hip. Can you turn and face the wall over here so we can see from behind? So we'll descend, just go to that leg it gets pretty fatigued. It gets a little fatigued. So let's go like 30-ish degrees into flexion on the hip. Okay, so we can see from the back that this hip lifts up higher, which means that we're not neutral necessarily in this hip. So if you lower down, and what I mean by that is adduct and internally rotate, and try to do it, so there's reaching happening here, and this is pretty much staying level. So we're getting the rotation through the spine rather than getting some of the motion through the hip. So with this athlete, what I would have you do is go 3 points, so come back up. Can you put this on your back? And put it 3 points of contact. So back of the head, mid-back, and then down right here. And we'll go back. That right leg's gonna be pretty smoked here when we work out. So go back into that. Go back to that depth of the single leg deadlift, and then try to drop down, keeping 3 points. We're going to have to go here, and you can't necessarily rotate the thoracic spine so much because the arms are locked in. And this is a very challenging drill. What I would do to kind of scale this back and get you to work into it is go into less and less hip flexion or more and more hip flexion as a way to scale it easier or harder. So that's one way that we can assess somebody's motor control of a closed chain hip, to look at that. And you'll find a lot of interesting things when you look at this with an athlete. So work on it, different angles of hip flexion, and well, it's interesting because there was a previous injury or previous problem with the side of the hip that you can't descend. Yeah. And if you think about the descent side, that's actually, it's an eccentric control of the hip into basically that position. So good drill, good assessment. I use it a lot clinically and in workshops and stuff like that too. Thanks for demoing.
Oh, thanks for coming.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for having us at the Marietta Barbell Gym. And anyways, so that's what I got for you guys for this week on Movement Fix Monday. If you don't already follow the Movement Fix on Facebook, make sure to go to facebook.com/Movement Fix. Make sure to check me out on Instagram as well, @the Movement Fix. I'll see you guys next week.